The money made from this channel goes towards the foundation. And we put, get that foundation does a lot of things from giving people tickets. No audio. Mic check, mic check. Let me know if you hear anything or if it's just me miming. Oh, it's good now. All right, cool. What's up, Bud? My guy. What's up, Bud? Was talking about you yesterday, my guy. But yeah, so anyways, PSA. I know everybody's angry. You're a little upset. I get it. We're losing. But like, let's try to do something crazy. Like, give me your tickets. There's military families that would love to go and replace that. Because again, like I was telling people, there are people who are dealing with real shit. And they don't need your shit. They just but if you don't want your shit, let's give it to people who really want to be there, who actively would go and support. Not because I don't know if you guys realize this or not. If you're a season ticket holder and you own tickets and you don't go, you're not showing them anything because they've already got your money. That's one thing. They've already got your bread and they already kind of they know somebody's going to replace you next year. Some stupid idiot like me will go and buy buy more season tickets to counteract the stuff that you're doing. So we'll do our normal giveaways, but we're trying to get some military. I have some military folks who said that they would like to be at the game as well as kids. So if you don't want to go, we have other people who would like to go. But we also hopefully this government shutdown gets over. So that it can free up some capital for me to be able to do some different things. But I do plan on doing a turkey giveaway again this year, and then we will be doing gifts for good grades. So gifts for good grades is where the kids who participated in my book bag drive and they talk to us, they communicate with us, they will get a Christmas gift up to $30 in value for doing great academic achievement. We'll also have the Christmas list from some of the kids. So if you're like me, you don't necessarily want to give somebody money, there is an opportunity to be able to just purchase the gift for that kid. We do those different things through Amazon as well as other stuff. So we're going to start our show off the same way we start every show off with a word of prayer so that we can all get our minds right for what we're about to do. Oh shit, Miles ain't here to give the goddamn word of prayer. Well, we'll get that after Jaden. Give us the rundown of what we're going to be talking about today, and then we'll get our word of prayer in after that.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Big Games B.S. here on Friday, October 24th. This is your first time at the show. Welcome. And if you're wondering why it's called Big Games B.S., it's because we bring the good, the bad, and the BS of the sports world, especially football, to your screens, eyes, and ears. We're going to start off with our normal MFTK segment. Then we're going to transition into some college football talk, starting with FSU. And then we're going to revolve our conversation around the big three Florida teams, as well as looking at this slate of games for this upcoming week in college, making a parlay as well, courtesy of Hard Rock. Then after that, we're going to transition into the NFL, starting with our NIL segment, aka Knowles in the league, Seminoles in the NFL, doing big things, making big plays. Talking about the home team for a little bit with the Jacksonville Jaguars and a video that's circulating of head coach Liam Cohen. Talk about the blowout Thursday night football game that occurred last night, and then giving you guys some updates on players and teams while looking at the viewing guide and parlay for this upcoming week. We're going to finish off this show with our Big Games BS section, where we bring the scope of the conversation outside of the typical football world, starting off with our BS or Bussin' Food review segment, subtopic, and then finally we're going to finish off with our OG Wyland segment of the day. But first things first, let's
You got Miles back. All right, Miles, I hit the prayer.
You already know what time it is, dog. Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you, God. God is great. All the time. All the time. Nobody wanna thank you, God. Thank you, God. Go.
Please respect my decision. We have Oakley for the district championship today. Asking where we got. Hopefully the game will be streamed on Did Media Group. Really don't fucking know. We'll find out. It should be streamed though. I'm pretty sure we got everything together. I know next week you'll have to go get it from another source, or I might steal the stream. That might be what we need to do. Steal the stream. Miles, I may like you can take the link, like how we're recording right now, and then we could just go live on Did Media Group. I may send you the Florida high school link and just tell you, hey man, put this up. The problem is they don't want, man. They ain't holding that phone for a whole fucking 2.5 hour game, man. And it's the Wi-Fi. It's so like for you to be able to have a consistent stream that way that can follow it. It just has to have a more powerful. At least we haven't found the ability to do this shit. Nah, not out there. Not unless you got to have a hellacious data plan to be able to be on the internet for. Damn, shit, I say that, but we'll start at 6. Sometimes we don't finish until like 9:30. Referees them referees hate their wives and their kids. But go ahead, Jada.
Saw you post this video on your Twitter account about the MFTK showcase, and I wanted to get you to talk more about it while I play this in the background.
I mean, 7-on-7 season is coming up. We're a tier 1 battle team. We're taking these just shout out to my god brother David. This is all AI. Like that, the animation, the picture is the kids. Like that picture actually happened. It's freaky that he made them all that. Like that looks like them. Like the kids actually are making. That scares me a little bit. I don't know, but it's cool at least. But I I was looking at something on IG, and I want to like some certain words have meanings. So the exposure that we're exposing the kids to at that age is not colleges per se. They may go on some college visits. We may go take them on a tour or something, but they're not like really like nobody's looking at them like that. That was my 14U team. We were a little undersized. Our 14U team this year will be a little bit bigger, very competitive as well. We will expose them to opportunities to showcase their talent, expose them to real, expose them to what it's like to move like a professional, expose them to getting at good training and development. I don't know what other people do. They may do these things too, but we're doing what we do. The MFTK philosophy will be adopted. And you have to remember, it's man, fuck them kids, not these kids.
Camp is a practice, being able to perform in front of other kids you don't know. That's good practice.
It's a really good practice. Like you got to be like, and to go on the road.
Yeah.
How to conduct yourself as a man. Like I will bust your kid. I will bust your motherfucking kid back if they show their ass. Like, because again, there's certain standards. We're gonna stay in Marriott hotels. Those who don't know, I'm a Marriott snob. I'm a Marriott ambassador member. Don't let your badass kid come on a trip with me and get me fucking kicked out of the hotels that I love. I will send their ass back on a Greyhound by them motherfucking selves and hope they get to you.
Free pantry.
No pay. Like I'm not fit. Now that'd be a cool video. Like I would let them raid the pantry. I would let them raid the pantry. In Philly, we stayed. The one in Philly was amazing, dog. It's a sense of pride for them to keep the one stocked in Philly. The one here is like they tired of it. They tired of y'all. Like, they know we going down there. They know we're getting 10 sodas per person. They'll feel that thing on a Monday and never feel it again. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. But like, we're gonna go and, like I said, we're gonna expose these kids to some different things, and I look forward to following them and, like, growing the social media. Like, I want to see a kid do something really, really good. We're gonna have the cameras on them so that they can go viral. Like, I want Overtime to retweet some of the things that we do with some of our younger guys and give them opportunities. I would love that for my guys, man. So I am excited. I'm looking forward to the stressors um that that this will bring. But it also, man, not gonna lie to you. You know who's gonna be on the 12U team? I told the coaches, give a fuck who you pick. There is one person already on your team, and that's my son. So, like, if Kai was a little older, I would have him on the 10U team, but might still have him on the 10U team. But I think the ball's gonna be moving. I don't think he's um good enough for that. But I may like throw his ass in the workouts and see how he rolls. But that's kind of basically what we got. Stay tuned to that if you would. MFTK7v7 on Twitter, MFTK707 on IG, as well as St. John Spartans. It's a merger of two different organizations, and obviously my IGs and everything, and my social medias will always have all of the things posted as we continue to try to change the next generation.
Mandarin is facing off against Oakley tonight for the district championship at Mandarin. So, James, you know what we do when we discuss these games? We need your score prediction and insight for tonight's district championship game.
So these guys are nowhere near as talented as we are, but their coach is straight up old school and he's tough. They got one of my bastard children over there. His name is Fareed Coleman. He ran for like 300 yards last week. He's a pretty good running back, explosive. I don't know what Ed White did. Ed White had a shootout with them, and you would think shootout means both quarterbacks was getting active, right? Wrong. They were not. They the running back scored 5 touchdowns. So that was crazy. But if our defense is able to slow them down and do what they've done to almost everybody not named IMG, we'll get a lot of opportunities. And it just really depends upon, and I think he's going to be locked in, Knox orchestrating and moving the offense in the manner in which it needs to go and not being greedy, not trying to get, and our offense not being selfish. If our offense isn't selfish and we take what they're giving us, we have too many weapons. And I do believe that they're going to try to blitz us, but if Knox gets rid of the ball, that if they're blitzing us, that puts us in a lot of situations where they'll be one-on-one coverage. And I believe Bryson, Tion, and my guy Will are just entirely too good for that. And if my backs can catch the ball out of the backfield, they'll be fine too. So we just got to make plays. And this is the games that you want. I believe we'll win this game by 14 points. They've scored, I believe they scored 21 points in the 2 games we played. If I remember correctly. But we beat them in the to win the district last year in the regular season, and they beat us in the playoffs on some bullshit. But that's why you don't leave the game in the hands of the referees. So should be a good game on Friday night. Hopefully it'll be streamed on Den Media Group. If not, it would definitely be streamed somewhere. So make sure you check it out or come to the game.
I know you wanted me to add this into the notes, James. So we are on the topic of FSU football, specifically to kick off this college football segment. And so I'm going to share this with you all and ask you, James, what's the verdict? What's the word on the streets of Twitter with this picture of the new football facility and Jaheim Bell posted up next to FSU legend tight end Nick O'Leary?
Well, one, Nick O'Leary definitely deserves to be up there. Nick O'Leary was such a badass that, if y'all don't remember, Nick got hit by a bus and went to practice. He was on a scooter, and the FSU bus hit him, and then he ate that shit and went to practice the next day. I don't think this generation knows understands what that's like. Jaheim Bell, there's a lot of there's some guys like, really good knows. Terrence Brooks is a really, really good football player, really good know. And what happens in these meeting rooms, it's typically guys that got drafted or were really good, or they made big plays. Like nephew Kalen DeLoach is in the linebacker room. His dad sent me the video of that. Again, it's basically what Gerard Williams put. I think y'all got it. He's not. You know what? You've never seen Jaheim Bell for the current player. No, he might have got cut, but he was on the New England Patriots. He got drafted. He doesn't claim South Carolina. He claims FSU. Claim those who claim you. He's right now. That's the tight end segment room. I want y'all to go through the history of tight ends at Florida State, and who do y'all believe as a tight end should be on the wall in the tight end segment room? Like, who would y'all put up there? There's only one guy that better be in there that I know of, and I can't see it, so I don't know if he's there or not, but Pat Carter is the greatest tight end to have ever played at Florida State. A lot of y'all probably don't even know who Patrick Carter is. A lot of y'all don't know Lonnie Johnson. A lot of y'all don't know you can't name 5 FSU tight ends. So why not Jaheim? So when it's why not Jaheim Bell then?
Bar.
Yeah, I'm not, but it is a low bar. But what I mean is the whole goal is to put people up there that people will recognize and say, man, I would like to be like this guy. Izzo was a tight end, but shit, he went to the NFL as a fucking offensive lineman.
Wow.
Played for the Patriots. I think he might have bumped all the way down to center at one point, if I remember correctly. Jaheim Bell was one of the better players on the best team in FSU's recent history. Outside of the national championship and the playoff team. I apologize, but I'm not mad at that. It's not now, if they had a fullback room, I don't even expect to be in that bitch. And people think I would have said I was top 5. But there's other guys that are really, really good. Like one of the notable Noah who was really, really good, Terrence Brooks, put up there like, man, I'm waiting to get on the wall. And then my friend said, yeah, man, this is what they need to do. These are the guys they need to honor. And I said, is he considered a top 10 DB in Florida State history? And they did. Once you kind of I get it. We're mad. We're losing. Everything seems bad because we're losing. And some of this shit ain't really that deep, man. I was, what did they call it? In the student services room. No, the best fullback was not Pooh Bear. The best fullback is William Barnett Floyd. Pooh Bear nice though. Pooh Bear is definitely up in there. Guy rested dead. I'm sad. Pooh Bear is gone. But they had me in one of the student services building. I was there, and you know what happens with these wallpaper graphics? Is I was there and it was cool. And then you know what I wasn't in 5 years? Wasn't there anymore. It was replaced. None of this shit is permanent, dog. It's the only thing permanent is what's in the Dunlap facility. Again, if you're not in there, it's tears to this shit. Pooh Bear was one of the best. My coach talked about Pooh Bear so much, but he also talked about William Floyd. Y'all, bar none, was a bad man. But y'all, we got to just somebody put up that Mike Norvell was eating at a nice restaurant in Tallahassee. How dare him eat? He's losing. That's the problem. You don't deserve ribeyes. You suck. Some of the stuff we just gotta chill out, man. Let the people live. Let the people breathe, guys. It's gonna be okay. That's a very cool thing. I'm glad that Jaheim will be able to tell his kids that boom, I'm on something. All I could do is tell them I was on a video game that they can't even play.
We do have some good news though for the school. However, the FSU women's soccer team got a dub against Virginia 3-2. So number 11 FSU wins it in the 89th minute at number 3 Virginia. So it looks like we're going to be moving up in the ranks in that respective sport. So shout out to the ladies, and we're going to go to the basketball side of things.
My bad, real quick. Before we get out of football, because we're still in it technically with football. Did we ever go? I went into the Greedy Vance thing. Did I talk about that on Wednesday's show? You know what I'm talking about, Jaden? You see Greedy Vance kind of was like, I know I talked about it on Mark Rogers, I believe. But it goes back to this whole thing, this transfer shit. Everybody's upset about we're not like Greedy Vance said that we honor the transfer portal guys more than we honor the guys that are currently there that put in the work that you recruit. And Kentron Portier, I think that's how you say his name, kind of echoed that sentiment. And they said some things that one of my favorite things to tell people, I want you to write it down, and they did. They thumbed it down, right? And then I need you to read it out loud, okay? I want us to read, because I want us to really, we're going to, right now, before we get out of the FSU segment, there's a couple things we got to talk about. This one, and then even some of the coaches that, I would consider, or just like one of them, everybody wants that old thing, that old flame back. And it works sometimes, and sometimes we'll get to this. But can you read? Let's blow that up. Make me small, and because I want to be able to read this too. It was talking about the kids talking about responding. It's like, all right. This is what happens when you have 50 new players on the roster and lose 30 the year prior to the portal. Bringing in guys, giving them more opportunity and money than people who already been in the program for multiple years. But hey, who am I? That's a very interesting statement of how he ended it. One, I'm a Greedy Vance fan. Loved Greedy. Loved the way he played. Real one of the petite guys that played big. He reminded me of my dude, my dear teammate and friend, Boosie, Stanford Samuels, the second. Who am I? Who you are is a guy that transferred, that was not recruited to Florida State out of high school. You were recruited to Louisville. You went to Louisville, and I remember getting the call. We basically traded a corner that was recruited to Florida State to Louisville for you. Them saying they got the better part of that trade. Because I knew people at Louisville at the time. But you came here and you made some plays, man. You are a very integral part to building the program through the transfer portal. You might have got a little NIL money, but you might not have gotten as much as you wanted to get. And then there came a choice that guys had to make. And you did business, which I have no problem with. Greedy wanted to get some. I'm not even gonna say Greedy got greedy. Greedy felt he wanted to get. He deserved more money, right? And as I tell people, the market dictates the terms. And in a world where people want to vilify and make something more than what it is, you made the best choice for you at that time, as there's only so much money. And if I'm hearing correctly, the person you asked for more money, and so did AZ. AZ currently plays for the Jets. You're currently typing with your thumbs, and there's no other. And then we also brought in a guy that played a similar position as you. And this is where we can say what's right, what's wrong. Florida State felt like they got to upgrade. He felt like he did the best thing for him. But they brought in Earl Little, who has better measurables and a trajectory. And then even like when it's all said and done, Earl Little's going to get a cup of coffee on somebody's team. And the goal of going to Florida States of the world, even though y'all have not shown that behavior in the last 2 years or much of Mike Norvell's tenure. This is year 6. So 4 of the 6 years of Mike Norvell's tenure, you have not shown that they have not behaved in the manner in which of why you go to Florida State, to go to the league. You decided to go to USC to better yourself and them honor you with the NIL deal to play over somebody who they recruited and had been in the program. Do y'all see the irony in this? Like, who am I? You're the person you're describing. That's who you are. And that's okay. And also, exaggerations is not what we need to do. They ain't never brought in no 50 fucking players, man. It's a whole team. They've missed, but they missed on the recruiting side of it as well. Because when people tweeted about Portier, I say, what play stands out to you about Portier? How was he not done fair? You know what play stands out to me is Duke. My guy Luke Cromerhouse. You know what Luke Cromerhouse's first play was, Miles?
What?
Shotgun snap. Got the ball. Drops back. Pretty pocket. Climbs the pocket. Throws like a 50-yard rope to a post route into the end zone. Portier's beat the coverage. He's behind the Duke defender. The ball hits him right square in the numbers, and he drops it. The first play that Luke had should have been a touchdown. If it were a spear, it would have killed him. That's where it hit him right square in the numbers. People, I'll bet the combine. Who's next up after the 13-0 year? Who do you guys feel is next up? Man, everybody said Portier. You don't get to say that. That's why I felt so strong before I said something strong. Like, that's why I called my dog Corn the other day. Called Crow for, like, do I get to say the? But again, I hear what they're saying, but either you're going to play business or you're not. And what's crazy is, it's to quote what is his name? Whatever. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. And we don't need that shit. Hey, no, my bad. I'm gonna give you one more nugget here. Do y'all know who Greedy Vance's round is? Like, who his partner is? And this is why I'm like, we can say Mike didn't work or Mike's not working, right? But let's not try to paint Mike as a bad person. That he's doing something that other schools aren't doing, or he's doing something in malice. In the chat, do y'all remember who the first big-time recruit that Mike Norvell had? Man, I'm talking about mine, bro. This highlight film was so cold. It was a Netflix series on this school, too. Like, the school, like, people, like, they in New Orleans. It's, like, really tough, dog. Real tough school. Like, the football coach, like, he's had top prospects die. These kids see all of these different things, man. It's like, it's real where they at. Like we all about to do the Cash Money and No Limit versus like this jit lived that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like his name was Destin Hill, and he was so good. Now, what happened with Destin Hill has happened to me numerous times. He just did, like, they signed him. He didn't show up in the first in his recruiting class. Something happened. They did Destin Hill so good that nobody really, like, people who know what happened, but like it never like no articles were written. Nobody's really put out there what happened, like, consistently. You know how bad something got to be for nobody to talk about it, but you can't go to school. You know what this man did? He honored the contract and he wrote it out with him. He could have easily went somewhere else. Easily went to another kid. He stuck it out with that kid. For that kid to transfer back to LSU, to go back home and not make any plays. If you have Destin Hill, you don't probably need to get squirrel white. You wasn't talking to your round. That Miles is crazy. Are you reading? Did you see the comments, Miles? Like Destin Hill, people they didn't believe he was a real person. They thought he was made up. There will report Destin Hill's on campus. Destin Hill's here. Is there really a Destin Hill? For him to come to Florida State and never make a play, get injured, transfer, get healthy, transfer out, and greedy. You lie to them, dog. I ain't no insider. I'm inside. We know you. We know you was like, if my round gone, I'm leaving. And it's okay. But like, Mike just ain't getting it. It just ain't getting done. Like stop trying. Like, this is why y'all treating this like y'all treat every ex you had ain't the worst person in the world, dog. Everybody ain't a narcissist. Sometimes it's you. And like, I'm cool with, like I said, I love it. Like, I'm a big Greedy Vance fan, dog. Huge Greedy Vance fan. I see him, I dap him up. Love his energy, love the way he play. Greedy Vance would come out pregame before pregame. Like stretching, making sure he got real good and whatever. But like, like if Mike was a fake one, Mike would start popping off. But here's what I want to tell guys, and this is free game by big game. When Willie Taggart was getting fired, right? The fan base was really encouraging the players to talk bad about Willie. And I told them, like, hey, chill out. Who you think the NFL gonna ask about you? They're gonna ask your coach. And now he's in the NFL. He like you, bruh. Y'all be listening to these other people. Y'all know where I'm at every February. Y'all know where I'm at every February in the NFL talks. I've been a victim of that shit myself. And I just try to give game. But Keith Gavin was out there talking about like Mike Norvell. Willie Taggart. Like there wasn't film of him dropping a slant against Virginia Tech in the end zone. Like when you a 225-pound wide receiver, and y'all know what that Keith Gavin looked like Anquan. Y'all know what he doing right now? Me neither. Probably working. He's done what 99% of all student athletes do. We go pro in something other than the sport we play. Regardless of how you want to dump on this train and you feel like, okay, well, now is the time to get my rocks off and get the feelings and the fans to be able to come and, oh, it's okay, Greedy. Mike sucks. He's a terrible person. It doesn't change the circumstances that you're in right now. You know what Mike's going to still get? A fucking hefty-ass buyout if he is fired. It's crazy. It is like, but I told somebody, there's guys who hated Bobby. There are players who hated Bobby. And I don't know. That's not my truth. Not name PK, not just PK Sam. But that's not my truth with Bobby. But like I just, like I said, dude, like that man did right by you, bro. That's not me fluffing anything. And you can tell me, James, you don't know all the particulars. You're right. I don't know all the particulars. But what I do know is that motherfucker held your round scholarship for like 2-3 years when nobody else would. And then he saved you from Louisville. You got to remember those things are also very true. Multiple things can be true. So like he could have done some things that you didn't like, but he did some things that a lot of people would say he did right by you. I don't know, man. Carmen Angela ain't raised me different, man. I just she told me be so good they can't deny you. but there was nowhere for me to run. I wasn't the guy. I wasn't the highly recruited guy. I'm the guy who came in and took the job from highly recruited guys. It's a difference. And let's talk about can we talk about Jimbo Fisher for a second? Is that okay as a family? Like, I know everybody wants Jimbo, but not everybody. A lot of people seem to want Jimbo back for some reason. And I'm not overly opposed to it, but can we stop the revisionist history of Jada? Can you put up Jada? Can you pull up like Jimbo's Wikipedia or something like that? Actually, I would love to go over his entire career since he's become a head coach, if we could, so we can see why we want to, why a case for Jimbo. I don't want Mark Stoops anymore. I love Mark Stoops unless he's coming as a coordinator. But I'm going to go and say this: who was the offensive coordinator when Bobby Bowden got fired? Anybody? Is anybody aware of who the offensive coordinator was when the guy who we all loved the program was? Who was the offensive coordinator, the man who made Florida State what Florida State is? Jimbo Fisher was the offensive coordinator at Florida State when Bobby got fired. And they had to make an exception because as a guy who sits on the Gator Bowl committee, you have to be in the premium pool in order to go to the Gator Bowl. They made an exception because Florida State, I believe, either went 7-5 or they went 6-6. And we ended up going 7-6 once we won that. So they had to make an exception because Bobby Bowden had been fired. I want you to understand, Jimbo was the offensive coordinator that got the GOAT fired. I don't really understand if you guys understand what I'm saying or not, but the guy that you want to come back to Florida State because we have this nostalgic thing that he won a national championship and he went to a playoff game, Jimbo Fisher got the GOAT fired. Like, just so you realize. So blow that up, Jaden, so I can see it. Then he took over at Florida State. Oh, they don't even have. So 2010 was his first year? So he took over and we went 10-4. And that's okay. Not bad. Didn't win the ACC. 2011, we would go 9-4. 5-3, losing the teams that we shouldn't have went, and we went to the Champ Sports Bowl. Then 2012, and I remember in 2012, before the season started, Darnell Dockett calling him Jumbo Fisher. A lot of the former players and a lot of the fan base, maybe you weren't there, maybe you don't remember, but we were ready to move on. We felt like this was an overhyped moment, and then he finally won the ACC. And they moved forward. When the Orange Bowl, Lonnie Pryor got the MVP. 2013 happens, we win the Natty. 2014 happens, we go with 29-0, lose, win the ACC, lost in. 2015 happens, we don't win the ACC, we go back to what we were. And then that's kind of where he peaked. And then everybody likes to say he never had a losing season, but he was 5-6. It's highlighted in here very well. You want Jimbo the same. We want Mike fired, right? We want Mike fired. That's what the fan base is saying. And we want the old ways back with Jimbo Fisher. Now, while Jimbo had one losing season, because I'm giving him that, because we had to reschedule the game and Odell won that game and Odell won the playoff game. He did not. He was 5-6 when he left Florida State. There are only 3 years. So what was he there? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. He was there. He's out of a decade. There were 3 years of hope that you really, really want back. Florida State, I'm leaving Florida State because they don't have resources. I'm leaving Florida State because it's not good enough. I need this. I need that. And in most of those years, every year he threatened us with leaving until he did. So what makes it more miserable is the years when he wasn't rising to the level of expectation. He was threatening us to leave. Now, but upon each threat, he got a little bit more freedom of what he wanted. But again, this is what I'm talking about. Let's write it down and read it out loud. Write it down and read it out loud. This is not me saying Jimbo's. This is me reading his career. Now, Jade, if you can blow it back up, let's scroll down. What did Jimbo do when he had every available resource to him? 9-4, 8-5, COVID year 9-1, really good with COVID. 8-4, 5-7, 6-4 until he got fired. He had highest paid coach, all the facilities, every resource available to him. The coach before him, he did just as good as the coach before him, and he's not doing better than the coach after him, because right now Texas A&M looks like they may win the SEC or play for the SEC championship game, something that he couldn't even get there to them. In a talent-rich state, as an ace recruiter, had the best recruiting classes that money could buy, and he could not do this. So now tell me, based upon what you just saw, why is this better? Is it better than Mike's tenure at Florida State? Absolutely. But that's not what we want. We want better than what Mike's tenure has been. We want better than the last years of what Jimbo has had. That's why I'm like, give me Franklin, because you know what Franklin consistently does? He might not win the Big Ten, but he's had to go up against Ohio State, some of the best talent Ohio State's had. He's had to go up against other expansions. He had to go against Michigan that's won a national championship. And miss me with he's won a natty. It's only so many of those who have. Then give me Orgeron. Ed Orgeron won a natty at LSU with all the resources that were available. Like when they gave him everything, LSU was so committed to winning natties that they robbed the children's hospital. Y'all remember that? They stole money from the children's hospital. Les Miles won a national championship at LSU when they were serious about football. Ain't nobody banging down the doors to bring them in. All I'm saying is I want better for us. And Jimbo was the first bad bitch since we were the widow. We got like Bobby left us and we were just like we cheated on our good old wholesome homebody old lady for the bad bitch that burned us. And now we want her back. Like, no, I don't. You know what? Again, this is Free Game by Big Game. And this, ladies, this is for y'all too. So don't get caught up. I want to tell y'all like the old school 1980s West Coast rappers. Like one of my favorite songs, Trust No Bitch. Females ain't the only bitches that I'm referring to. So I just want you to understand that. Also, my bad. Let me go back to Jimbo. I remember calling my little bro and saying, like, DeMarcus Walker and saying, hey, did y'all really have to sign I promise not to quit contracts? Jimbo had the boys signing promissory notes. I'm sorry. If I'm recruiting, that's who he didn't have to worry about the transfer portal. He brought all those guys in. I need you guys to sign this paper that you promised to give your all. Man, if you don't get the fuck out my face with that shit, I don't want nobody to have to get promissory contracts. Y'all talk about Jimbo, Mike would climb, and y'all talk about we got to respond, and the boys laughing. The fuck you think that was doing when he made him sign promissory notes? It's like high school. You got a little girlfriend and you give her a promise ring. This shit don't mean nothing. But guys like Fran Brown would never work here, though, by the way, guys. Fran Brown is entirely too black. Fran Brown is dope, but Fran Brown that would not work, guys. Like, y'all know it won't work. We saw Tag. They were very upset about that. James Franklin me if we bring it in a retread, or I don't know, find somebody else. But like, if Jimbo comes in, great. But like Jimbo is, and Jimbo operate like a bad bitch too. So, but yeah, my bad. I just had to get some of those topics off my chest.
FSU basketball is going to be kicking off on the 16th. So it kicked off this month versus Alabama in Birmingham. So we are facing off against Florida A&M this Sunday, and this is actually a special game because FAMU's new head coach is Charlie Ward, FSU legend, and Florida State is actually retiring Charlie Ward's basketball jersey here. So Charlie Ward, who led Florida State basketball team to 3 NCAA tournaments and who is still the only player in history to win the Heisman Trophy and be selected in the first round of the NBA draft, will have his basketball jersey retired and hung in the rafters at the Tuck. The ceremony will take place prior to Florida State's exhibition game against FAMU on October 26th at 4 p.m. Student tickets are free to students from both schools. All they will need to do is show their ID upon entering. Ward will be the first student athlete in FSU history to have his number retired in both football, number 17, and basketball, number 12. Man, what a great honor from the Knoll, who turned into a Rattler, but he was an OG Rattler if you know his story. But anyways, shout out to Charlie Ward on being the first student athlete in FSU history to have his football and basketball jersey retired. Wanted to update you guys with this fact. And if you guys are in Tallahassee, make sure to go to the Florida State versus FAMU exhibition game this Sunday at 4 p.m.
I wish it wasn't. You know what happened? Why they don't play that game, right? You ever heard about the last time they played? It was a fight, but I'm sure that this won't happen this time. I believe, Charlie's gonna be really, really good for FAMU. I like that hire. Shout out to the former, well, she's suspended right now, but the AD that was there before they jammed her up. But like, I like that. I like that him and Luke are doing that. It should be a good game. It's only $10 to go if you're not a student. I mean, where are you gonna find where are you gonna find entertainment for $10? Like that's gonna entertain you for 2 hours and keep your kids occupied and see some pretty good basketball. So shout out to them for orchestrating that.
Let's continue on with this head coaching conversation for our rivals. So, according to On3 Sports, they had this to say in regards to the head coaching conversation with Steve Spurrier's opinion on the matter. So, Steve Spurrier tells Cloud Football, aka C Low Football, aka Chris Low, that he's staying neutral on the coaching search. So, according to him, they're throwing Lane's name out there, referring to Lane Kiffin, and he'd be good there. Look at what he's done at Ole Miss. Drinkwitz is another one, the Missouri head coach. Even John Gruden. There are several others, but Lane is being mentioned more than other guys, it seems like. And James, what I wanted to ask you is, it seems like they're going down the Lane Kiffin trail as of late. So is this a correct assumption that I made? Are they putting their chips towards the Lane Kiffin new head coach?
I could see Lane being that. I think Ole Miss will make it very difficult for him, but I could definitely see the Lane doing that. And I know Lane's going to do his due diligence. A lot of it's going to have to deal with is, does he think Lagway could be the quarterback, be his quarterback of the future, and does he think Trammell could potentially be that as well, on top of what he may bring in. I think what everybody expects is that the logo will recruit itself. And I do believe that Lane, with the infrastructure that they have in Florida, could potentially be dynamic. But I also know Lane has a propensity to not be able to win the big game consistently. We just saw what happened with Georgia. Georgia has not shown any propensity of having offense. He beat them once, but then he loses it in the situation where it ends, and like there's a ceiling on that. And he's going to still be in the same conference. Ole Miss has all the facilities. Ole Miss, he could recruit better at Ole Miss, but he's a lazy recruiter as well. But he has a sexy offense, and he has a demeanor that is more like the old ball coach and Spurrier than what the other guys do. Drinkwitz will come in to be a defensive-minded coach first, which I think when you want a rehab or repair, that's where you go. But they had Gus. Not Gus. What's my guy's name? That's with Georgia right now. There was the DC. He was a head coach. Like he's been a head coach at numerous stops, but Florida's and everybody's problem in this new age is going to be how long do you hold off? Like the standard is the standard, but you lower your expectations in the process of getting. Yeah, Will Muschamp. Thank you, Grillmaster. You lower your expectations so that you can do what's necessary in order to get to the standard. And how long does Florida hold off? Like Georgia, like I think in this new age, it's going to be teams that are entrenched. Like Georgia is going to is going to have a leg up over people until Kirby decides to retire. Alabama would have been perfect right now because Saban would have still been in place for the systems and everything to kind of continue to grow. Eventually you're going to need continuity. But I think Lane would be a really, really good hire for the University of Florida. I just think they thought that they could get Lane last time and they couldn't. And they've been trying to talk about getting Lane for quite some time, but it still has not happened. So we shall see.
Speaking of the SEC suspends referee Ken Williamson for the remainder of the 2025 season. Williamson is not expected to return after 17 years with the SEC, and he was suspended after controversial calls in Georgia's win versus Auburn. So, it looks like he's out for the rest of this season, and he's been with the SEC for 17 years. Those controversial calls were awful in that Georgia versus Auburn game. So it's no surprise that he got suspended from this. But man, 17 years with the conference, going out like this for the rest of the year. Man. Tragic right here. Tragic.
I think more referees do this than what people think. And I think the problem comes in that there is one, being a referee is these guys' second job. Most of these guys are really intelligent. You know, they're doctors, lawyers, like judges. Like it's some really like I think the NFL has shifted to where it had like that's your job now. I think that's what they need to do in terms of being a referee. And I also think that they should have a true like national like make it a true association. I know they have it, but like right now I know in high school you play high school football for aspirations to go to college. You play college for aspirations to go pro. I really believe that they should put it like I have like what'd you say, Miles? Like Jeremy wants to be a ref, right? Yeah. Like I believe competition breeds competence. If I know that there's a young up-and-coming guy and I'm graded based upon my calls, it's going to make me get better. And if I know that there's an incentive for me to do the right thing and to do better, I'm going to be able to do better. The problem, and that's going to recruit more people to want to be referees. Like, I ain't going to hold you. I had somebody tell me like almost like nobody wants to do the job, and that's because all the idiots instead. And I had this guy referee. He looked at me. He's like, "Hey, you coach at Mandarin?" I'm like, "Yeah." What's that? What's that to you? He's at Trey's little AB honor roll bullshit. And his daughter was at the table where we're at. His godmom almost whooped his ass. Becky, Toby's wife, was there like, "Well, are you one of those guys that throw all the flags on us?" I'm like, "Becky, you're not making it any better, man." Like he's going to throw more flag. He might referee one of our games. And I told him, I said, it wouldn't be that bad if a referee just says, my bad. A lot of times we'd be like, all right, cool, players fuck up. But they get $300 a game. There's 10 games in a season. You make $3,000. And that's just if you only work Friday nights. There's a Tuesday night middle school game. There's Thursday night JV. There's Friday night high school. And then there's a Pop Warner game, or there's like 20 different fucking leagues that you could do on Saturday. You could work 4 days a week. And if it is $300 a pop, y'all help me with the math. That's $1,200 a week. That's $4,800 a month, ain't it? Now, maybe prices vary, but you know how much I make to coach high school football? I got to coach Monday through Friday. I got to do some shit on Saturday. Got to help kids get recruited. You know what James Coleman gets paid? $1,440 funky ass dollars. The Wednesday before Black Friday is what I get paid for a year. To get cussed out by parents that say, you don't care about the kids, you don't do this, you didn't get my son recruited, and the son is 5'5", cross-eyed, and he built like an independent woman that don't need no man for shit. All I'm saying is referees, but if I'm a high school referee, I'm going to try to get to college. I'm going to show me the blueprint. If you grade out at 85%, then you get to go to FCS, or you get to go to this, you get to go to that. Like, there's that. And like, shit, you should ref. The fuck I should. I ain't asked for that. It's a thankless job. That's why I do coaching. I don't they complain to that bitch. I tell parents, but I talk back to parents now. I say, I'm mad at you. I'm mad too. I'm mad your son not playing either. I'm mad you gave me this genetic unfreak. Like, I'm over here. You know how hard it is? I'm over here working my ass off to make sure my running backs go to college and be good. Meanwhile, Coach Waters got Bryson. You know what that look like? Oh, man. Like, you think my dog Coach Waters over there fucking coaching Bryson right up? The bitch catches the ball over 5 people. He ran over 12 guys running the punt, like including the referee. But I got to come over here and do this shit. Like, I just got to develop cats over here. I ain't got no mutant yet. I love it, though. It's dope. I coach because the coaches saved my life. But, like, I think if there'd be more competition, you could get more breed. I actually really do. I think I-9, does Jeremy know he need to go do I-9? They get I think they get 75 a game, 75 or an hour or some shit like that. I know they were, and they do their own training. I do have some dudes in my room. Both of my running backs, the 2027 guys, both are going D1 next year, but they're not fucking Bryson Wright. All I got to do is roll the ball out to Bryson and just say, you know what, Bryson, do this. And I lied. Do what Bobby said when he saw Peter Ward doing all the cutting. He was like, yeah, that's just how I coached him. Mm-hmm. I told him to run. I want you to run full speed to that sideline, son. Then I want you to stop, do a little shimmy, redirect, juke that guy, then do it. Like, it was so funny, like, seeing him talk about Pete like that. But yeah, referees are just up there with cops, man. Like, it's a thankless job and it's a tough job, but it's a job you chose. So don't get mad at me because you chose a job like that you're getting compensated for better than me.
Miami is debuting their camo uniforms for their Military Appreciation Week, and man, a lot of people online had some nasty things to say about these unis right here from the Canes. You can see the camo uni. They even got the camo U on the helmet as well. So, James, are we walking with the Hurricane camo uniforms or what?
No. That's ugly, but I don't want to come off as a hater. Did you see what the person tweeted out in the Canes message boards? It's so funny, but like I hate that shit. Like it's right there, the one to the right. I just hope Beck can locate our receivers. He's had a hard enough time last game when our receivers weren't wearing camouflage. Hey man, y'all ain't shit, man. Y'all leave my dog alone, man. Like, yeah, nah, I'm cool. I'm cool with it. It's probably it's better ways to show appreciation to the military. Just let the coaches wear the stuff and let them wear their normal colors, but you know, that's one extra jersey that the guys get.
There are only 6 undefeated teams left in the FBS, and they are Texas A&M, BYU, Georgia Tech repping the ACC, Navy, Ohio State, and Indiana. So these 6 teams are looking to keep their undefeated record alive for the FBS. And just wanted to share that with you all before getting into the weekend's viewing guide courtesy of Projection Sports. So let's take a look at the viewing guide for these upcoming games. So tonight on ESPN, you got an ACC matchup between California and Virginia Tech. And then you also have Boise State at Nevada on the CBS Sports Network as well. For any of my baseball fans, you do have the game 1 of the World Series between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. So this is the grid for Saturday. Let's start with the 1 o'clock or the 12 o'clock slate of games in the first column, if you will. ABC, you got Ole Miss at Oklahoma, this 8 and 13 ranked matchup. Virginia at North Carolina. And then some other notable games you have are Syracuse at Georgia Tech on ESPN. And this is the battle of the American Conference with South Florida at Memphis. UCLA at Indiana, hoping they can upset Indiana as well. And then for your second column, you got Alabama at South Carolina, NC State at Pitt, Illinois at Washington, FAU at Navy. The 15th ranked and 10th ranked squads are going at it between Missouri and Vanderbilt, Baylor at Cincinnati, Oklahoma State at Texas Tech, BYU at Iowa State, and Texas is playing against Mississippi State. Finally, moving over, you got Texas A&M third ranked at LSU, and this is going to be at 7:30. Boston College at Louisville, Stanford at Miami, Houston at Arizona State, and then you got Wisconsin at Oregon, Michigan at Michigan State, Tennessee at Kentucky, and then for any of my Colorado fans, Colorado is playing against Utah at Utah, and this is around 10:15 p.m. on ESPN. We're going to come back to the NFL when we get to our NFL segment, but let's pull up Hard Rock and see what James is picking for this week's matchup.
All right. What damn. What is it, 31 and a half? If I had to. Damn, it don't even show. You just did top 25 matchups?
Yeah.
Okay. 31 and a half points is a lot. And Oregon hasn't been rocking and rolling like that. So I'm going to take Wisconsin with the points. I'm not going to take anything on UCLA, Indiana. I don't know what UCLA is, and I don't know what Indiana's rocking and rolling though. That's my new favorite team to watch. Because Lane is unfocused, but I also actually I'm gonna take. I don't understand why they're getting points. Give me Ole Miss with the outright win. I think they're better than Oklahoma. I'm gonna take Georgia Tech. Fran Brown is reeling without having his quarterback right now. UVA money line. No. Give me, never mind. North Carolina's getting their ass whooped. Give me UVA. Excuse me, with the points. I mean, with minus South Florida, Bama. Now you can go ahead and give me Bama minus 11.5. Give me South Florida minus 5.5. I know nothing about BYU. BYU is good like that? I don't know if row the boat, but I'll stay away from that one. I think I'm taking money line with Drink. I think Missouri's better than I think Vanderbilt. Diego's good, but I think it's starting to come to an end. Miss me with that one. I don't trust Texas in anything. I want to think my yeah, I'm not gonna touch Miami. They're gonna win that game though, but they don't have a money line for it. I'm gonna take Texas A&M. You might as well give me the money. The 2.5. And I think Tennessee. I'm gonna take Tennessee. I think this is gonna be the game to get old boy fired. Damn, $2 gives me a stack because I got it. Hey, that's only 9 games. That's a good parlay, ain't it? Why does yours like? I wonder if it's just because you're not logged in. If it gives you something different, but yeah, that'll be my parlay right there. All right.
All right, so we are at our NFL section for today, and we're going to start off with the NIL topic for you guys, and that is the Knowles in the league. So these are the Knowles who have been doing their thing on the football field for the big leagues. So let's start off with this graphic courtesy of FSU football. So let's take a look at these Knowles. So Derwin James Jr. had 7 total tackles, 3 solo tackles, and 2 QB hits versus the Colts. Brian Burns, the NFL's sack leader with 9 sacks, had 4 solo tackles, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, and 1 press breakup against Denver. Tatum Bethune has been balling out in Fred Warner's absence, 10 total tackles, 4 solo tackles, 1 tackle for loss versus Atlanta. Jalen Ramsey had 6 total tackles, 3 solo, 1 pass breakup versus the Bengals. Tits for Fitz, Ryan Fitzgerald, 2 for 2 on field goals, had a 30-yard long field goal and 7 total points versus the Jets. Jermaine Johnson had 3 total tackles, 2 solo, 1 QB hit versus the Panthers. AZ is getting some bump. He had 3 total tackles and 1 pass breakup. And Jared Verse had 2 total tackles, 1 sack, 2 QB hits versus the Jags in England. And Braden Fisk had a solo tackle and a pass breakup versus Jacksonville. So speaking of the Jacksonville versus LA game, it looks like these Knowles rekindled their old flame. Former Florida State players Jerry Jones, Braden Fisk, and Jared Verse, along with former coach Lanier Coleman, met up after the Jaguars-Ram game this past weekend, did a jersey swap between Jones and Verse right there. So it's great to see these NILs doing their thing on the biggest of the biggest stage and continuing to show love and support for their alma mater. Just love to see it, man. Definitely some dogs out there on the field. So shout out to all the NILs who are making their name into the league, and shout out to Tatum Bethune. Want to give a special shout out to him, man. He has been balling, man. And yes, he went to the crib, went to FSU, and he's just, man, just a dog out there on the field. So shout out to Tatum. Just want to repeat his stats again: 10 total tackles, 4 solo, and 1 TFL versus the Falcons. So number 48 has definitely been putting on a show for the Niners.
You said Tatum Bethune?
Yes.
And Jared Verse. Those are guys who brought in, paid money, and put over guys who had already been recruited and been there. I ain't seen that. Jerry, you know where Jerry Rush be going? He be hanging out at the games. He was at the Miami game hanging out hard. It's interesting. It's Tatum Bethune was at UCF. Huh. I ain't seen no Tatum Bethune tweets. You see Jerry and Jones? Has Jerry Jones tweeted? Oh, my bad. They ain't got time to tweet when they actually, playing. So, sometimes you got like they got a lot of studying to do because of what they learned from Mike Norvell. So like when it works for you, it's never a bad thing. I just want to put that out there, for people to put things in context.
Speaking of putting things in context, Jaguars head coach Liam Cohen took full blame for bad play calling in front of the entire team during a meeting after the horrible loss to the Rams in England. So we actually got this video to play for you guys since it's been circulating the internet with a lot of high praise for first-year Jaguars head coach Liam Cohen. So I'll let you guys be the judge of that. So let us know what you think in the chat.
Okay, there's a scramble opportunity on fourth down Trevor and I just talked about. But guys, this is not my best by any means. This is not. It's not putting you guys in your best position to succeed on 4th and 7.
I got to pick up the point instead of linebacker.
There's no question, Quinn. I appreciate you saying that, dude. I know Trevor thought that as well. There's some scramble ops. I appreciate you saying that, Quinn, but I got to be better in this situation regardless. Right? It's my job. That's my job. I'm going to ask you to do yours. I got to do mine.
I every time. I like to move it. I like Quasimodo with no hump. That's effective leadership. You got to win. You got to start winning. You know what I'm saying? But good coaches and good leaders take all of the blame and none of the credit. And I like that. And I like LaKen Allen talking about stuff, but because I just did a podcast that was really, really cool, fun. I was at Strings Brewery. And they do I forgot what they call it. 3 up, 3 down. And the game was so bad that they just did 3 down and 3 downer or something like that. And Liam Cohen was one of my guys who were on the down thing. And I blame a lot on Trevor because Trevor, a good quarterback, can erase a lot of the bad coaching mistakes. But I do believe that he did not put them in the best position considering what the flaws were. Like the offensive line isn't great, so you're doing a lot of 5 and 7 step drops. Trevor's eyes are looking down the field, which means his first reads aren't short. When it's the NFL, we talk about it all the fucking time ad nauseum that you got to get rid of the ball in less than 2.5 seconds. And most of the completions in the NFL are 5 yards or behind the line of scrimmage or 5 yards up the field. 5 yards up the field. I would love to see the throws chart from the last game because I just know Trevor. Like they just threw that bitch down the field entirely too much. And, luckily they'll get a chance to revamp and chill out and do some things better. I hope they get better. So, but I like that from Liam. I think that's cool.
So let's get into the Thursday night football game that occurred last night between the Chargers and the Vikings, if you would describe this as a game, because it was 37-10. So let's take a look at the box score and the team stats regarding this game. So one of the first plays of the game was a Vikings pick six that ultimately ended up ended up getting reversed, excuse me. So that kind of killed the momentum in this game for the Vikings, if you will, starting off early like that with that pick six reversal. But let's get into the quarterbacks first. Carson Wentz, 15 to 27. 144 yards, one touchdown, one interception, got sacked 5 times. Matt Brosmer, 3 or 4, 13 yards as well. Justin Herbert, 18 to 25, 227 yards, 9.1 average per completion, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. So the lone scorer for the Vikings was Jordan Addison. He had 3 receptions for 26 yards and a touchdown. Jay Jettas, though, led the Vikings in receiving with 7 receptions for 74 yards. So Kamani Vidal scored 23 carries for 100, had 23 carries, 117 yards, averaged 5.1 yards a carry for 1 touchdown as well. Justin Herbert showed off his Jets, 7 carries for 62 yards. Ladd McConkey scored. He had 6 receptions for 88 yards. And man, everybody has a lot of praise for Oronde Gadsden II. 5 receptions, 77 yards, and 1 touchdown. So he was the 165th pick in the draft this year, coming out of Syracuse. He's a tight end who's standing at 6'5", 236 pounds. So man, he has a crazy frame. And in these last couple games, these are his stats. He had 5 receptions, 77 yards, a touchdown. The game previous, he had 7 receptions for 164 yards and a touchdown. And the last game before that, he had 7 receptions for 68 yards. So the rookie is doing some damage out there as well. Trey Harris also scored for the Chargers. He had 1 touchdown on 2 receptions for 8 yards. And then let's see how our boy did. Let's see. I'm trying to find. Doesn't look like I see his name right here, but we'll go
Denzel
to.
Perriman still playing?
Yep, Denzel Perryman, 2 total tackles, 2 solo, and he had 1 pass defended as well. So shout out to him. So let's go to the team stats, shall we? Because man, it was ugly. Just look at the first down right there. The Vikings had 12 first downs, while the Chargers had 29. The Chargers went 9 of 13 on third downs, while the Vikings went 3 of 11. The Chargers ran 23 more plays than the Vikings. The Chargers ran 70 plays, while the Vikings only ran 47. The Vikings had 164 total yards of offense, while the Chargers had 419 while doing it with 1 less drive. So the passing
What's that top look like?
Yeah, we're gonna get down to that in a minute. The passing difference was 130 compared to 212 for the Chargers. Chargers had 207 yards on the ground, while the Vikings couldn't even break 35. They had 34 rushing yards. So the penalties, they both had 8 for both teams, but the Vikings lost more yards at 66 compared to 46. Each team had a turnover. Each quarterback did throw an interception, but the Chargers had 19 more minutes of time of possession than the Vikings. They almost doubled the Vikings' time.
You ready for the real life observation? Like to help you guys understand this game? When you look at rushing and it's only 34 yards, right? How many sacks did they have? Did they get a good amount of sacks? Oh, 5. Yeah, a lot.
5.
Too much penetration will make top longer than what it needs to be. And so the Chargers D was actively penetrating the Vikings. You can see to the tune of 34 yards rushing and 5 sacks. Like that's, that will slow down things and make it long, because 20 minutes at top is tiring. Like you're gonna get, your legs are gonna be, you're not gonna have anything left if you got 20 minutes at top. So like it means your D was penetrating and affecting the opportunity for the O with the Vikings. So we got to get that. Like the Vikings got a lot to correct on that, but Hey, shout out to the Chargers. They were charged up. They were on a honey pack. That's what it looked like.
The Chargers are now 5-3, while the Vikings are 3-4. The Vikings are last in the NFC North division, while the Chargers are second in the AFC West division. And the Chargers debuted their San Diego throwbacks right here. So I know a lot of people were reposting the old pics of when these jerseys were popping back in the day, and they debuted it. So against the Vikings on Thursday night, these jerseys are pretty fire, I might add. And man, definitely a blast from the past. Good hint of nostalgia. Sorry for that, because I wanted to share this with you guys. We talk about the passing charts and next gen stats. You know what they do? They always keep feeding the football streets. So let's take a look at the passing chart for Justin Herbert, aka J Herbo. So Justin Herbert finished 13 of 15 for 162 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception against the Vikings blitz, his fourth most yards against the blitz in his career. The last time Herbert faced the Vikings, week 3, 2023, Herbert was 32 38, 301 yards, and 3 touchdowns against the blitz. Excuse me. So 18-25, 227 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. You can see the passing chart right here. A lot of those green dots were either from the line of scrimmage to around the 15 yard mark, if you will. He only had 2 passes that were 20 yards or more downfield, one of which resulted in a touchdown as well. So you can see where a majority of his passes are in the middle of the field and in between that 5 to 15 yard range, if you will. He also has some check downs. You can see the 3 green dots behind the line of scrimmage, and some right above the line of scrimmage on the left side of the chart as well. And it looks like Justin Herbert was comfortable against this Vikings blitz. So we also have some more information regarding personnel as well. So the Chargers offense featured 22 personnel. So personnel 22 means 2 running backs and 2 tight ends on 27 plays, tied for third most by an offense in a game in the next gen stats era, which is since 2016. The offense gained 145 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 63% success rate out of 22 personnel. So it looks like the Chargers were rolling with 2 running backs and 2 tight ends.
I'm so grateful for that too, because I have Vidal on my fantasy team, and a lot of people don't know who he is. His dad played football at FAMU. I am going up against Adrian in our fantasy football league, and Vidal was pounding, helped us pound out Adrian's team to the tune of where we got 19.7 points right now. She had Keenan Allen though, so she had a Charger too, but you know, he wasn't helping with the top. Like, so, you know, shout out to Adrian being the victim this week. I am doing so good in our fantasy league. My other league, I'm getting my ass whooped. I don't think I've won a game in my other one. But me and Matter Daddy, Black Magic are all tied the top first place. Believe it or not, Adrian, who's about to take her second loss to me, is in fourth place though. She's 4-2, and she says she doesn't even check on her fantasy team. So it's tough. That's crazy.
With last night's game, Justin Jefferson did the unthinkable, the unfathomable. So Justin Jefferson is the youngest player in NFL history to reach 8,000 career receiving yards. Just want to repeat that. Justin Jefferson is the youngest player in NFL history to reach the 8,000 career receiving yard mark. So shout out to Justin Jettis for real. Definitely one of the top, if not the top wide receivers in this league. And man, he's doing this thing. He's still so young. You can see from this stat, the youngest player in NFL history to reach the 8,000 receiving yard mark in his career. So shout out to Justin Jefferson for doing his thing. But man, I know he is mad in that quarterback situation in Minnesota. It's unfortunate what's happening, but hey, man, that's just the game. Some things will not go your way. Speaking of quarterbacks and things not going their way, let's take a look at Jaden Daniels and his injury update. So, Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels will not play in Monday night's game against the Chiefs, a source told ESPN. Marcus Mariota will start. Daniels is suffering from a low-grade hamstring strain, and source said it is not considered a long-term injury. However, I know Monday Night Football is going to be a highly viewed game, so just wanted to update you guys if you guys are going to plan on watching or you plan on betting to know the quarterback situation involved in that game. So Marcus Mariota is going to be starting against the Chiefs, and safe to say, I think the Chiefs are going to pull away.
Yeah, they're gonna whoop that. They're gonna whoop that ass. Man, have you? I know this is we're big fans of Mama Gotta Have a Life. Big fans of I like momagers and like dadagers. I like parents getting that bread. But man, one of my friends, Jib, my guy who loves Jordans and he's in a wheelchair. I still don't know how that works, but my guy's my guy. He have you seen her IG page?
No, I do not stalk his mom's IG page. No,
Man, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. She got a. Oh, that was 2023. Boy, she had a stomach out. Oh, okay. She didn't gain a little bit of weight. Not bad. Like, she got that grown woman weight a little bit now that, he sent me the old pics. These are the ones where I can't, like, you can't even like these, man. Cause like you double tap this, like that's when they know you interested. Like you're looking at pictures from 12 from okay, all right, this is a 2025 picture. Need her to just do that thing like on Lion King, where he was just like, that's what we need to do. But for those who want to do for research purposes, _MZ_Jackson is her IG for you guys that want to go help her get, do all of those different things. Luke, I think her mom, I think the mom needs to find a life outside of him. I do believe she is trying to protect him. I think she just likes being on the scene, and sometimes, she sacrificed her life for him to be able to be what he is. And now while she may be in her 40s, she probably mentally is still in her 20s because she might not have been able to do some of the things that she wanted to do while he was younger. But I don't see her like she ain't fucking none of his teammates or doing any other stuff. She just prevented him from getting pussy, which has got to be annoying. But mama got to have a life. But like I do tell women that have athletes, the locker room is not a safe space at all. Nobody is off limits in the locker room. And when your mom look like that, and she still look like that thing worked, like they're gonna shoot shots at her, bro. Like help your kid out, like by not give you the some of y'all with y'all tights, man. Y'all are not y'all might let it get in. It stops working after a while. You'll get your son a job in Pop Warner, and you may even be able to get some good playing time at a sorry high school. But like when it gets real, your looks ain't gonna help Junior. But just remember, like you are the first representation of what a man sees in a woman and how women move. So you can't tell us that you're teaching your young man to respect women when you out there with looking not sexy in the classical way, but you're looking sexy like with like half your ass out. Or if you got an onion booty, or you got a wagon, maybe it's not about you having to hide your assets. It's really about your kid at that point.
let's take a look at the former teammate of Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, and his injury update. So, head coach Brian Daboll of the New York Giants said wide receiver Malik Neighbors has not yet undergone surgery for the torn ACL he suffered nearly a month ago on September 29th. Presumably, the procedure will take place once the swelling subsides enough for surgery. So, man, sucks to hear this news coming from Malik Neighbors and the Giants organization, and we need to ban the MetLife turf for real. For real, it's
Yeah,
taking too many bodies. Taking too many bodies.
they probably are waiting for like some other complications to go down. Sometimes you don't have the surgery immediately, wait for swelling, and you also try to get that second or third opinion to know exactly what they want to do, because that's one of those surgeries now that if you do it right, you can come back pretty quickly. Like obviously not playing the season, but if done wrong, it's something that gives you lifelong effects. So he's going to want his body to be in tip top shape.
Wishing Malik a speedy recovery in this hard process. And James, the Pro Football Hall of Fame modern era player candidates for the class of 2026 have been revealed. So the 52 modern era players advanced in the voting process for the Pro Football Hall of Fame's class of 2026. And we have some familiar names on this list coming from the Jaguars. So if you take a look at the running back position, Fred Taylor is on there. And if you see the little asterisk next to Fred Taylor's name, this indicates he was a finalist for the class of 2025. And we also have Jimmy Smith Jr. from the Jags on this list as well. So the bold names indicate the first year eligible players. So let's get through these names first. Drew Brees, Philip Rivers, Frank Gore, LaShawn McCoy, Larry Fitzgerald, Greg Olsen, and Jason Witten represent that tight end room. And last but not least, for the O lineman, you have Marquise Pouncey, who is the first year eligible players. So, James, just want to share this with everybody on this list. Everybody with the asterisk indicates the finalists for last year, and the bold names indicate the first year eligible players. So, do you think Fred Taylor, James, has got a chance to solidify his Hall of Fame career since he was a finalist last year, or do you think it's still gonna
I
not?
think it's going to be a couple years. I think the Pivot podcast has been so popular that it will help Fred. But I believe Drew Brees is getting in. Eli might get in this year, if not another year. But like, if you just kind of go by this, they only select so many people. We know Drew's getting in. We know Fitz is getting in. If one of the two tight ends got in, it'll be Witten over Greg, but both really, really good. I'm shocked Troy Vincent isn't in there now, considering that he was the player rep for the NFLPA for most of the time. That's what I was trying. Troy Vincent's from Trenton, New Jersey. Went to high school with my mother. That's what I was trying to remember. And they played for the Eagles for years. I don't think Reggie's getting in. And Reggie's really, really good. And I don't think Fred will get in. I didn't realize Jimmy was on the ballot last year. But Jimmy's definitely not getting in for the same reasons why Bullet Bob Hayes didn't get in for so many years. Really, really good, though. I'll tell you who's never, Frank and LaShawn are never getting in. This might be the year that Warwick Dunn does. But when you look at it, like, because it's only like 4 or 5 that get in every year, right? So they're not going to have a 2-time Super Bowl champion. Did Eli win the MVP both years?
Let me check.
Or did somebody else win? I know they had the one dude that wrote the children's book with that miraculous catch, which is still some bullshit to me.
Yes, he won both Super Bowl MVP awards.
Yeah, they're not gonna I don't think that they're gonna keep him out. Luke Kuechly, like it's Vince Wilfork is somebody who needs to be in. He was so good, but I don't think Jimmy gets in. I do believe Fred will get in eventually because believe it or not, how the media votes on this. So when you're liked in the media, they're going to help you out. He does such a good job with his Jaguar coverage here locally and what he does on the Pivot podcast.
I think they select around 4 to 8 members each year. So between this 52-man roster, 4 to 8 players will be selected.
Yeah, this isn't an 8-year. But because there's not enough guys that kind of just have been there long enough that deserve it. But I definitely know Drew Brees is getting in that bitch.
I know Terrell Suggs, he probably not going to get in it from everything he's been going through as of late. Wilding for that nitro cold brew, it looked like.
James Harrison is wild. James Harrison basically threatened Skip Bayless for calling out. You hear about Skip Bayless calling out our boy for getting baptized right before a game?
Yeah.
Which I joked about that, but I would never like say that.
Good luck to all these legends on this list who are up for the 2026 class of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. A lot of great names on this list, James. I'm surprised you didn't mention your boy, Lorenzo Neal,
I saw
fullback.
that, and I was about to say we need to go retweet the interview. Like, it's just, you go on our Den Media Group stuff, man, and like it's one of the best interviews I've ever done. Like, it was so polite violence. So I loved it. So good people. I hope he does. We do need fullbacks. The world was a greater place. America was great when the fullback was being used. Weren't so soft. Now everybody's a bunch of pacified pussies.
Let's take a look at the viewing guide for the NFL this week. So, starting with your 1 o'clock games: Dolphins at Falcons, Jets at Bengals, Bears at Ravens, Browns at Patriots, Giants at Eagles. The NFC East matchup right there: Bills at Panthers, and the Niners at the Texans. Then you have the Titans at Colts, AFC South matchup, Cowboys at Broncos, and then you have the NFC South matchup between the Buccaneers at the Saints. Then you have the Packers at the Steelers for your Sunday night football game. Aaron Rodgers will be going against his old team at home at Pittsburgh. Should be a good game all around. Then for Monday Night Football, you do have the Commanders at Chiefs, like we mentioned, but Jaden Daniels is not going to be playing during that game, like we previously mentioned. If you guys did not, if you guys were not here to catch that, so let's build the parlay for this week, James.
49ers. I think the Jets. I don't know why. I just feel the Jets money line. Going gang on this Patriots. Shout out to Mandarin University. I think the Eagles are going to fly this one. They're not going to lose this one to the concussion CTE game. For some reason, I feel like the Ravens should win this, but I'm gonna go with the Bears. They've been playing well. Did you realize the Bears, I think, are 4-3? It's wild. So I'm going to go with concussion gang. Tua is my fantasy quarterback in the league I haven't won a game in. I need him to win. I don't care. The Panthers are 4-3, which is insane to me too. But Bills, Bucks, Cowgirls. I think Titans plus 15 though. I don't think they win it straight up, but I don't think they're losing my 2 touchdowns to the Colts. I need the Colts to lose though. Steelers, Chefs. Just go ahead and give me the money line. Yeah, that one's showing what it should. That's what I bet. I was able to get a no sweat bet through Hard Rock. So if I lose, I get my money back. I feel like it's a setup. They give you up to $5. So I'm only taking $5. But my bet is 17,307. I can cash out right now and get my money back. Oh. There's no other cash out. But yeah, the Patriots are looking good. That's what happens when you get Mandarin kids. You get 2 Mandarin players on your roster. They're just used to winning.
Now we are at our Big Games BS section for today. We're going to start off with our BS or Bustin' food review segment. And I don't know how the viewers are going to feel about this one because we have a smashed barbecue chicken croissant sandwich. So let's see what you guys say in the chat. Please give us a BS or Bustin' in the chat. Type it in the chat once the video is done. And James, after this video, I want to hear your verdict on this barbecue chicken croissant sandwich.
Barbecue chicken on a buttery croissant with onion jam, Parmesan crisp, and provolone cheese. This comes together in like 10 minutes. So good. I'm working smarter, not harder, so I'm shredding up a whole rotisserie chicken, tossing it in some barbecue sauce. Then we're going to lay down some provolone cheese, hit it with some Parmesan crisp for that nice crunch. Now the top half gets a little onion jam for that sweet, savory vibe. Toss it in a buttery pan and let it get nice, golden, and melty. And there you have it, a barbecue chicken croissant sandwich. Quick.
Yes. That is just true. I don't even know what he was talking about. But like, you can give me French onion soup, French onion jam, doesn't matter. Like, just it's cheese and chicken. Yes. Like, to be honest with you, I think the only place and butter, because they had the fried croissant, the only thing that went wrong, missed me with the French onion shit, right? Put some pineapple, like a pineapple chutney, or like a grill of pineapple slice, and put that on that bad boy. My brother, like we are yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like we vibing right there. That's some good eats, man. Not at all. As my late grandmother would say, well, y'all got to die of something. You might as well. It's like, what better way to die than choosing the way you die. Yeah, you're right, Bert. We don't need all the barbecue sauce. I don't need all that shit. Good barbecue don't need but a smidge of the sauce. Don't cook the fruit there, Adrian. Put a raw pineapple on that bitch. The point is, put damn pineapple on it. Like, you don't need it to be warm to cook. We can eat, like, I'm telling you, open up your palate. Like, try new things, experience stuff.
Speaking of that, what are good foods that are low in cholesterol? Because doctor visited yesterday, and I'm just like, she says I can't eat honey buns no more or fried chicken.
Man, fuck that. Miles, shut up.
I'm dead.
Like, man, I hate you, man. Miles over here is shredded. Like, walks around. Miles, both my brothers. I posted on Twitter. I don't know him enough to hate him, but what I do know is I hate that he looks how he looks. That motherfucker got all my dad, like because my dad he's bigger now, but he was like, when he was a Marine, he was like compact and like ripped. And this motherfucker just on Facebook with his shirt off in the story, like, man, put some clothes on, man.
Genetics.
Yeah, I'm like, why? He was like, well, you got taller than me. That man, yeah. He's like, and you're the one who played ball. Okay, so.
And what about now?
I ain't never like my man. I ain't never looked like that before, man. Like, even in my best, the abs was like right there. It kind of looked like how the Rock's like that. Like it's just like they were there. You could see them. You could see a strong core, but they weren't. You couldn't wash shit. There wasn't no washboard in this. Miles over here got washboard abs, chiseled, and fucking talk about cholesterol. Boy, if you don't go in there and take some goddamn Lipitor or whatever the stuff is that I got, so you can eat some fried chicken.
I heard the medicine is cheap. That's what.
Yeah, man. Doctor, you over there taking advice from a doctor that probably don't look nothing like you.
Yeah, nah, she is heavy.
Like, man, what do you eat to lower your cholesterol? I eat fried chicken and honey buns. But I'm not sure. You know, hey, man, shit. Give me your goddamn honey. Like, give me a fucking, like, Kai over there. You might not. You're going to have a competition about your honey buns. Kai just going over there just, like, I'm like, yo, when the fuck did you just start opening the refrigerator and getting what the fuck you wanted to get without asking? Like, when did we reach this level of independence? Like, he just grabs a honey bun when he sees it.
I hid the honey buns. He just found it one day.
Yeah, he was like, I'm just gonna eat this honey bun. I'm not gonna ask my my uncle for his honey buns. They there. If you don't want the honey buns ate, don't buy them. God, man. But nah, that's fire. That slaps though.
So we have our OG Wildland segment to close out this show, and it's about basketball. So it's about Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier arrested in gambling inquiries. So we're gonna have this ESPN article. We're not gonna read all of it, but just the meat and potatoes, if you will. Portland Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, and former Cleveland Cavaliers player and assistant coach Damon Jones have been arrested as part of a pair of wide-ranging investigations related to illegal sports betting and rigged poker games backed by the mafia, authorities announced Thursday. Billups and Rozier have been placed on leave from their teams, the NBA said in a statement. Total of 34 people were arrested as a result of a years-long investigation covering 11 states and involving tens of millions of dollars. FBI Director Kash Patel said, FBI Director Kash Patel said, law enforcement officials said the multiple charges involve 4 mafia families and organized crime networks, with Patel saying, of the money involved that, quote, the fraud is mind-boggling, unquote. Rozier, who was arrested Thursday morning at a hotel in Orlando, Florida, is accused of participating in an illegal sports betting scheme using insider NBA information. As part of the scheme, gamblers used non-public information to bet on at least 7 NBA games between March 2023 and March 2024, involving the Hornets, Magic, Blazers, Lakers, and Raptors, according to the indictment. In 3 of the 7 games, players intentionally removed themselves from contests to benefit the gamblers' bets, according to the indictment. The defendants, quote, had access to private information known by NBA players or NBA coaches, unquote, that would likely affect the outcome of games or players' performances, and provided that information to other co-conspirators in exchange for either flat fee or shared betting profits, according to the indictment. So, U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, Joseph Nocella Jr. called it, quote, one of the most brazen sports corruption schemes since online sports betting became widely legalized in the United States, unquote. Chauncey Billups, who was arrested in Oregon, is charged in a separate indictment alleging a wide-ranging scheme to rig underground poker games that were backed by mafia families, authorities said. The defendants are accused of using technology to steal millions from victims in the New York area, Nocella said. Also, though Billups was not named in the sports betting indictment, the description of a co-conspirator who allegedly told a bettor that a member of the Blazers players would miss a March 2023 game had a playing and coaching career that matches Billups. Billups and Rozier have been indicted on charges of wire fraud conspiracy and money laundering conspiracy, according to Assistant U.S. Attorney Diane Hugh. Each count carries no more than 20 years in prison. Hours after his arrest, Rozier appeared in a federal court in Orlando wearing a Charlotte Hornets sweatshirt, handcuffs, and shackles. Billups appeared before a judge in Portland, Oregon. Both men were ordered released from custody on certain conditions. Prosecutors in their detention memo asked the judge to impose, quote, substantial bail conditions, unquote, on all the defendants in the poker rigging case, and noted that Billups has, quote, substantial financial resources, unquote. Billups is scheduled to appear at the federal courthouse in Brooklyn on November 24th, while Rozier's next scheduled appearances will be December 8th. Billups also turned over his passport and is required to secure a substantial bond with the federal court in the Eastern District of New York. His travel is limited to Oregon and Colorado, and he is also prohibited from any gambling-related activity as well. The U.S. Magistrate Judge Robert Norway on Thursday said Rozier will be released from custody after putting up his Florida home as bond and surrendering his passport. Conditions for release also stated Rozier would be prohibited from gambling and restricted only to travel within the continental United States.
So bet against when they play the Raptors. Bet against them because I clearly can't go play the Raptors away. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a lot of other shit that I got to worry about going on in this shit. Like, I really don't give a fuck. All right, so the gambling part is the integrity of the game. But what I'll say is like, am I? Let's say hypothetically speaking, I bet I bet on Florida State to win the bye week, right? I'm joking about the bye week, but like, let's say I know what they're doing because I have relationships with those people. Like, or if I have a sibling, or what if I'm good friends with LeBron? Yeah, go outside. I'm good friends with LeBron, and in casual conversation, I gamble, and I'm like, because hell, let's say LeBron, the shit they advertise betting companies now. In casual conversation, LeBron says, man, my hamstring's been bothering me really, really bad. And I say I let that influence me thinking LeBron ain't going to get a triple-double. Right. Like, yeah, everybody doesn't know him, but shit. I mean, but there's also smart enough. But some of the stuff is just too much. If the mob's involved, like I get that, but like, I don't want these people getting 20 years in prison. I don't give a fuck about that. They robbed a casino, essentially. Like, did they rob people? Now, Chauncey's, all right, but you're not supposed to be gambling anyway. Like doing poker or shit like that. I think the people who are know that there's an aspect of one. Let's just be honest. When we gamble, the phrase is the house always wins. If you're gambling with the Russian mob, the house already wins. But let's just be. It's kind of like when when Debo and Smokey robbed whatchamacallit's house, and they had $200. And Snoopy's like, man, we got $200. He's like, let's split up our money. What money? Like, that's kind of like you win. Oh, I won $10 million. No, my friend. I'm sorry to inform you that you have not won anything. Like, give me our money back. Like, but so like, that's fucked up. That's a civil matter, in my opinion. That's not we have real shit that we got to worry about. But again, when things are happening that were promised, that the things that were promised aren't happening or aren't, like, you have to move the goalposts and you have to have a great distraction. What other better distraction than there's only two opiates of the masses. That's religion and sports. And sports is a religion. Every Sunday, hundreds of thousands of people across America attend live church service where they worship men running into each other over a pigskin, and millions and millions more watch it on TV. And the same thing with basketball. Instead of on Wednesdays having watch night service, Tuesdays or Thursdays you watch the NBA wherever you're at. And Cash Patel, it has a lot of other shit that he should be worrying about as an FBI director. And this is what you present to us. Something that does not affect any of our day-to-day.
Right.
None of us feel safer knowing that Chauncey Billups was arrested. The only thing that this does is make you feel bad because people are gambling more money than your generation has, like your line in the generation has made, like your lineage.
Right.
$10 million. Some of y'all weren't worth that going all the way back to the fucking slave ship. Or if you're a pilgrim, your ancestors that came over on the Mayflower, y'all ain't worth that. $10 million doing that way. Like that's the only thing that I could see. But like, you got the low level guys. What Russian mobster do you have? Like I don't even know if I'm safe from the Russian mob.
It's not a big enough name.
Like where's Vladimir?
They named some of the families. They would have made it seem like it was basically you're a guy who's rich enough to play in a game, and you are also a fan of Chauncey Billups. And you're like, hey, you can play in a game with Chauncey. He's the Lauren. But I kind of do that because I feel like those type of people have disposable income. It's a scummy thing, but like you said, there's bigger.
It goes back to Wall Street. Like a lot of movies like tell you all of the game without you even knowing the game, right? A man asked him, he says, I find it very simple that most people have a number. What is the number for you to be able to effectively get out and, stop doing what it is you're doing? And the guy looked at him, he pondered, and he said one of the coldest lines, more. So like what you say is greed. If I can make 10, like, who was it? Oh, my guy, Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce, ever since he got the strippers on his IG Live and they fired him, like his podcast is real. Some of it's a little bit like him. I like him bigging himself up, but I think he's talking about himself maybe a little bit more than what he really was. But that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. That's your right. What I like about Chauncey said, like women, like a woman, they talked about a tweet. A woman said, a guy gave a woman $2,000, which is something I highly do not recommend. Y'all have to stop paying these bitches for being pretty. If it's your bitch, give her whatever she needs. Take care of her if you have it. But do not go out here just giving you fucking up the game. And women, if there's a guy's randomly just giving you money, keep those guys. Like, I saw it was one woman said, I'm used to men paying all my bills. Well, bitch, maybe you should go to apologize to the last guy. Because if that's what you're getting, you're not getting that over here or anywhere else. Like we're no more liabilities. But like, go apologize to the dude who took care of everything. Clearly, he was a good dude. What did you do wrong? Like that's what we got to be asking. But long story short, the guy gave her $2,000, and she said, "I'm going to return this $2,000 to you because you're playing games. You don't understand my value." And Chauncey was like, "Shit." He's like, I'm rich. You can't tell me that you give me $2,000. I want $2,000 now. Rich people always want to make more money. That's where the game is. The game isn't making money, so you'll never have enough. That's what your vice becomes. Yeah. Like I was asked by I don't really give a fuck. I ain't like they can dislike me or like me more, but like my sister's boyfriend asked me about that one time. Like he's like, do you do anything that doesn't involve making money? You have any hobbies that you just do for fun? And I'm like, what? Like why? I mean, I do. Like all of this stuff started with just fun, but like, why would you have something where you can't make? If you could make money doing it, why would you want to make? That's not fun. That's fun to me. And when you get times like where I'm in right now, where shit's tight, you lucky that you got a hobby that can make some fucking money. Yeah. You yearn for that shit. But like, like you pay a bill, like $2,000. Like, but yeah, say that it says like, oh, why does he need $200,000? Why don't he need $200,000? Like, especially with gambling, some of the stuff, if it's illegal, like this stuff, like what Chauncey was doing, it ain't like you getting into a bank. So I don't know, man. Just it's ripping. What I want to know is who else comes off of this indictment. But it does make sense. Who was the basketball player that got off, like that they originally popped? That all of a sudden they dropped the charges?
Oh, Gilbert?
No. Gilbert too. I didn't know they dropped Gilbert's, but Gilbert is doing his thing with all of this shit. Did you see he has like the informant lunch or whatever? Like thinking he was eating out of it, like he was like they gave him the French fries and the potato chips and the cold Coke. Like, if he didn't do anything wrong, that man a civilian. So like shit, like kudos to him. I'm snitching too. Not finna get me.
That's all I have for today, James. Any last words to the viewers as we close out this show and bring in the weekend?
Is this week? The weekend's coming up, man. Make sure you have a good fucking Friday, or STD Fridays, as my guy Ramon says. We will be giving away a bunch of stuff next week. If you don't want to go to the game, if you're listening to this on the Twitter, please come over to the YouTube. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Consider becoming a member. We have Garnet and Gold baseball tickets. The scrimmage is on Friday, so we have 4 tickets to that. For anybody who's interested in that, we also have I'll be giving away a lot of tickets to one family, but we do have some tickets that we will be giving away to a fan for the FSU Wake Forest homecoming game next week. Make sure you tune in. Also any updates that we have with FSU with the coaching searches or all these different things will come and we'll do different podcasts. Let's try to get back to the 2000 that we're watching, like that when y'all thought bad shit was happening. That was so great, even though a vast majority of you were on Twitter. You were not on you weren't on the YouTube, but we did have I think like 150 on the YouTube at that point. At the end of the day, I appreciate everybody and appreciate you guys for chopping it up with me. We will see you guys next time.